have a feeling there's going to be a lot of people angry because of this video, but that's okay. I'll tread as lightly as possible, but just know that this is going to be hard for me. Thor Odinson, the Asgardian prince from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, was a character that director Taika Waititi saved after giving Thor the depth and redeemable traits that he so desperately needed. Thor was finally a character that didn't have to rely solely on his chiseled features and abs to be likable. Unfortunately, Marvel managed to ruin that well-rounded character in less than 2 years when they released Avengers Endgame. And that's what we're here to talk about. Hello ladies, men, and non-binary friends. Welcome back to my kingdom, however humble it may be. Now, I have a very complicated relationship with this character. I started out hating him, then I thought he was funny, then I really liked him, and now I'm not so sure. In this video, we'll be discussing the rise and fall of everyone's favorite God of Thunder. Let's start with the first Thor movie. When I saw the first Thor movie, it had a number of problems. I didn't think it was a bad movie, but I wouldn't really describe it as a great one either. The main problem being that the audience could pretty much relate to every character in the movie except our protagonist. In my opinion, Thor started out as a pretty unlikable character. I mean, who's gonna relate to a tall, smoldering, arrogant man with flowing blonde locks, rippling muscles, and lightning powers? Yeah, close enough. Origin story Thor is arrogant. He doesn't care how his actions affect others. Oh, and did I mention he's the favorite son? I could almost look past his bad behavior if he had daddy issues or was neglected or something, but that clearly wasn't the case. I attribute my dislike for Thor as one of the reasons why I love Loki so much. I've just imagined what it would have been like to grow up with Thor as a sibling and how horrible that would have been. It makes sense why Loki is so fucked up in the head. You see Loki as a child in Thor 1 and he seems like a completely normal kid. Then you cut to Thor and he's talking about murdering frost giants and committing literal genocide as a 7-year-old. Or I guess he's a god, so maybe he's like 700 years old at this point? I don't actually know that ratio. Just kidding, we're not going to talk about that movie. Next up, Thor Ragnarok, the pinnacle of Thor's character. Thor Ragnarok is one of my favorite Marvel movies, easily in my top 5. It felt like a breath of fresh air and was such a departure from the typical Marvel film. Taika Waititi is one of my favorite directors, and I think the Marvel executives just let him run with this film and do whatever the fuck he wanted. Which was great. The stellar cast, bright colors, and witty dialogue makes this movie a standout next to the others. Those aren't the only reasons, but I'm trying to keep this brief. Taika did a great job embracing Thor's charismatic side by utilizing Chris Hemsworth's own charisma, which Marvel should have done from the start. I mean, it was right there. Why didn't they use it? Have you met this man? He's dripping with charisma. Dripping might be the wrong word. I'm dripping. No, I can't keep that in. Well, we'll see. Taika brought humility to Thor's character, having him fumble over his words around a woman who he respects.
You know, I used to want to be a Valkyrie when I was younger, until I found out that you were all women. There's nothing wrong with women, of course. I love women. Sometimes a little too much. Not in a creepy way, just more of a respectful appreciation.
Let's compare that interaction to one from Thor 2.
I've got this completely under control.
Is that why everything's on fire?
Not as cute, not nearly as appealing, and actually kind of sexist. Taika incorporated some of Thor's earthly influences into his everyday life, but Thor isn't really that familiar with it.
No, I don't have a phone, but you could have sent an electronic letter. It's called an email.
Yeah, do you have a computer?
No, what for?
Even the strong, beautiful, confident man can be a fucking idiot. That we can relate to. We can understand, we can empathize, and we can enjoy that.
You can leave that now.
In Infinity War, Thor was even better. Heroic, selfless, humble. I was so proud of the character he became. Every scene that he was in was a scene that I enjoyed, and I was so excited to see his growth. Thor's "What more can I lose" monologue was the best acting I've ever seen from Chris Hemsworth. It's beautifully tragic, and every time I watch that scene, it makes me cry. Infinity War Thor risking his life to start the Forge at Nidavellir. What the fuck is it? Nidavellir. Nearly killing himself in the Rings of Fire. His whole body literally frying. That is the truest selflessness we've seen from Thor's character, and that is growth. Nidavellir. times when it all went wrong. I want to start off this section by saying I do get it. I get it. He's in a serious state of denial and depression. Alcoholism and weight gain are common results of depression. However, I'm frustrated by the fact that Marvel basically made Thor's trauma into one big fat joke. I know other people have touched on this a lot, but it really bothered me and I wanted to bring it up. I understand why Thor lost everything and why they chose that journey for Thor specifically. Losing everything was a way that Marvel's writers could showcase one of their strongest Avengers in a very vulnerable place, and I'm not mad about that part. I just think it could have been done a little better. The writers could have incorporated a topic like depression more seriously into the story. Depression is something that a lot of people, including kids, struggle with. The audience could watch one of their heroes go through it, and with the help of their friends and loved ones, manage it. I know weight gain from depression is an easier outlet to express trauma without going to a place that's inappropriate for kids, but the other part of me is like, if you're gonna go there, go there. Don't make it a joke. We've seen serious topics of depression and self-harm discussed in Marvel before. I mean, Bruce Banner talked about trying to kill himself in the Avengers.
In case you needed to kill me, but you can't. I know, I tried. I put a bullet in my mouth and the other guy spit it out.
Nebula talked about being mutilated by Thanos when she was only a child. Young Gamora had half her village killed in front of her, so I know you know how to go there. I just think the Marvel executives knew that everyone was going to see this movie, so they tried to please the masses. It wasn't all bad. I do have some positives for Endgame Thor. From a design point of view, I adored when the electricity went through him and his ratty beard got braided with those little Nordic beads. So cute. Thesis statement. Thor's trauma should not have been laughed at. Now, if we're really going to get into it, my biggest problem is that Endgame negated any sort of development Thor had since Ragnarok. In Ragnarok, Thor was finally able to rise and be a leader. Then at the end of Endgame, he was basically like, peace out, Valkyrie's got it from here, I'm gonna go to space with my new space buddies. Bye. Thor's whole problem in the first few movies was that he only cared about himself. He put his needs before the needs of his friends and his people. That changed in Ragnarok. His entire goal was to save his home and his people from destruction. He learned how to work with others, build a plan, build a team. He learned to be more caring and understanding of people's feelings and struggles. Then Marvel just threw that away again. There are so many movies in the MCU that have different directors and writers and staff in general. With that comes the occasional continuity error, especially in character development. That's one of the biggest problems with the MCU. Inconsistency. It doesn't really happen with Iron Man or Captain America because, well, everyone sees their movies. If they aren't consistent, people will notice. With Thor, the only people that have really seen his movies are the major Marvel fans. Unfortunately, his character's personality has been jerked around more than a crippled marionette. He's not my favorite, but I think they did him dirty. I guess he's a Guardian now? I don't know. I'm really hoping they don't lean into this Endgame Thor and make him a total bum. He just turned into everybody's high school quarterback that peaked too early. Taika is directing Thor Love and Thunder, so I have hope. If anyone can save Thor, it's Taika. I mean, he's done it once already. After filming this, I actually read an article where Taika said he was fully abandoning Beer Belly Thor in Thor Love and Thunder, which is a relief. At this point, I'm honestly just excited to see more Valkyrie. She's my goddess and has my heart forever. Anyway, thank you for watching if you made it this far, and if you didn't make it this far, I'll remember you. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Thor's character. Is he perfect just the way he is, or did Marvel do him dirty? Let me know how wrong I was in the comments. Much love to you all. Take care of yourselves. Bye!